Gildan Media presents Your Coach in a Box, affordable, life-changing audio programs.
The Axmann Conspiracy, the Nazi Plan for a Fourth Reich and How the U.S. Army Defeated It, by Scott Andrew Selby, narrated by Don Hagen. Prologue. Hitler's Bunker. Whereas socialism, and even capitalism in a more grudging way, have said to people, "I offer you a good time," Hitler has said to them, "I offer you struggle, danger, and death," and as a result a whole nation flings itself at his feet. George Orwell. Berlin, April 30th, 1945. For those of Hitler's men still in the heart of the city's government sector, the Battle of Berlin was almost lost. Shell after shell sent deafening explosions through the Reich Chancellery garden above Hitler's bunker, kicking up debris and shrapnel. Artur Axmann, to get from his command post in the cellar of the party chancellery at Wilhelmstrasse 64 to Hitler's bunker, was forced to run across exposed territory. En route, he passed the skeleton of a horse whose body had been stripped of meat by people hungry enough to risk enemy fire in search of food. Axmann wore a moistened bandana across his mouth and nose, like a bank robber in a western, not to conceal his identity, but rather to make the noxious air, full of fumes produced by the Soviets' white phosphorus shells, marginally more breathable. He wet his bandana with wine, as it was more plentiful than water. The only running water was in the bunker itself. Even with the bandana, the air still smelled of ash and of death. Axmann reeled from exhaustion. He was dirty, and a scruffy beard was growing on his chin. Before these last days of the war, he was always meticulously dressed in his uniform and clean-shaven. Of slight build, Axmann stood just over 5.5 feet. He was young and handsome, with dark blonde hair that flowed over his scalp in waves. His sharp chin and sculpted cheeks offset his piercing gray-blue eyes. His most noticeable feature, though, was the result of an earlier war injury. Axmann had no right forearm, which meant that he was also missing a hand. Where it used to be, he now managed instead with a prosthetic device he partially covered with a glove. The scream of the explosions rocking the cellar he employed as his command post, combined with...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?